What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Berman. Today I am sharing another batch of rental codes for Series 1 in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I'm going to be sharing them in the order that the teams are disappearing. You only get so many rental code slots when you're sharing rental codes, and so the next batch of teams will be taking over these teams. So get them while they're hot. They will not be around for much longer, starting with the ones that I talk about first. But before we begin, if you wouldn't mind liking, commenting, subscribing, helping the channel grow, helping the video reach more people, I sure would appreciate that. It really helps out so much. Everybody on the channel is so nice and good about commenting below, even just for the algorithm, and I appreciate it so much, and it has been working. We're almost at 3,000 subscribers, which is such a cool thing to say, because I took such a long break before Scarlet and Violet, and I came back because I was just itching to play some more Pokemon, itching to get back into the community, and I can't say enough how much I appreciate everyone out there who's been clicking on the videos, anybody new who has subscribed. We're not slowing down anytime soon. Series 2 is right around the corner. I'm excited to do that, but for the rest of this month, Series 1 is still the thing we're talking about, and these teams are weird, and these teams are going to get you wins on the ranked ladder, so be sure to let me know which ones you're using, which ones you're excited about, and in the description below, you'll be able to click all of the individual videos that I made for these teams, so be sure to jump down there. If a team strikes your fancy, you haven't seen anything about it yet, click on that video, go over, watch that one, because I break down the teams in more detail over there. And like that video, you know, the whole ecosystem is working, you know what I mean? All right, now I've completely lost what I'm saying. Let's hop into some rental codes, shall we? To kick things off, we have my Cyclizar team. Everybody, this team actually didn't end up doing crazy well on YouTube, but I mean, views-wise, like performance-wise, but in the games themselves, it was dominant. This team is really, really good. So it's definitely possible that you haven't seen this team, but also Pokesports covered it. He did really well with it. Kevin did really well with it. It's a really, really fun team. The whole idea being that Cyclizar is an incredibly fast Pokemon that gets Shed Tail, which gives you a substitute and switches Cyclizar out. And every other Pokemon on this team benefits from substitute. Mimikyu all of a sudden gets behind a second sub because Disguise is already a sub of sorts, and you have to hit it 3 times essentially to even try to kill it. Dragonite Multiscale stays active with a sub up because you haven't lost any HP yet, which is an insane bonus. Azumarill gets the opportunity to set up Belly Drum, and Amoonguss can just click Spore on the first thing that it wants to. And Cyclizar switches out, gets the Regenerator recovery, and can do it again, even. And I have a game, I think, on that video in which I'm sitting there with 2 subbed Pokemon while Mimikyu's clicking Swords Dance, while, you know, Dragonite's a normal Terra-ing into E-Speed. Like, it's just a really, really good team. Really, really fun to use Cyclizar Covert Cloak to stop it from getting faked out immediately. And I hope you use it. It's a really, really fun team. Cyclizar is really, really cool. I think it's super underused. I think this team just barely scratches the surface of the things that you can probably do with this cool Pokemon. And yeah, I think you'll enjoy it. Here we have my Doodle Grafaiai team. I had so much fun using this team on the channel. We made 2 videos with it because it has a lot of things going for it. Basically, I wasn't done using Grafaiai. Grafaiai was my first video back in Scarlet and Violet, and it still does so many different things. This Grafaiai has entirely different strategies than that first one. This Grafaiai, as you'll see, has Leer and Doodle. Doodle is its signature move that copies your opponent's abilities and gives it to both Grafaiai and its partner, which is why you see Slacking in the corner down there. Obviously, Slacking really suffers from its Truant ability. It's got great stats, but it can only attack every other turn. However, because Grafaiai gets Prankster Doodle, turn 1, you can get a Doodle off and completely alleviate Slacking of that stupid ability that has it, you know, missing every other turn. And then Slacking becomes an absolute beast. Grafaiai also has access to Leer, which a lot of Pokemon obviously have access to Leer, but its Prankster Leer, when combined with Dragapult, is an absolute insane combo, because this is a choice band Dragapult with Dragon Darts that will absolutely crush your opponents if their defenses are lowered. It'll crush your opponents if their defenses aren't lowered. So imagine how it'll crush them when their defenses are lowered. Palafin also benefits from the Leer. Every single Pokemon, it's a fully physical attacking team. Tauros is also so good. It was so cool to make this team and then watch the San Diego regionals and see that a lot of people were bringing Tauros. They were bringing the fighting water one more often, but there were a couple of firefighting Tauros, and I was very, very happy to see it because I think it's super underrated as an intimidator. And the cool thing is that Doodle, obviously, you're aiming to benefit slacking with Doodle, but every Pokemon on this team can benefit from Doodle if you've already used its ability. So like Tauros comes in with Intimidate, and then it's used Intimidate. It's not using Intimidate anymore while it's on the field. So you might as well snag your opponent's ability if you see one that's kind of cool. Grab a multi-scale, grab a huge power if you can grab it. Really, really fun things you can do with this team. The best battle I've had on the channel so far, and I think that people have seen the battle, will attest to this, was that I got paired up against an Oricorio Dancer team, and I was copying Dancer onto my Slacking, onto my Dragapult, while my opponent was using dancing moves, so I was also using their dancing moves. It was really, really cool. It was so much fun. That video is in the description as well. It's linked down there. Go check it out. It's like, it was just the most fun, and also like I'll never battle with those exact setups again. You know what I mean? Once in a lifetime battle. Go watch it and use this team and let me know if you use this team. It's very, very fun, and I never know what to say at the end of these. And here we have my Revavroom team. This team did so well on the channel and also performed really well on YouTube. I'm so glad that people found this video because I think Revavroom is super underrated. This Pokemon is an incredibly unique typing that really is only weak to ground moves. It's weak to fire too, technically, but it's 4 times weak to ground moves, which is scary. But when you throw an air balloon on it, when you throw a flying Terra on it, suddenly it's not as scared of those ground moves. And when you pair it with a bunch of Pokemon that aren't affected by ground moves and a Garchomp, Garchomp can just Earthquake through everything while Revavroom sits off to the side. Like, effectively what happens here is that Garchomp is your opponent's #1 target, right? You see a Garchomp, you want to get rid of it because that thing's going to deal some serious damage. While that's happening, Revavroom can set up Shift Gear, which it can use to completely annihilate your opponent. But also, as soon as they get rid of the Garchomp, Flamigo comes in, copies the Shift Gear, and that's what Flamigo needs the most. It needs those speed boosts, and it gets an attack boost as well from that Shift Gear, making Flamigo an incredible threat. Additionally, we have Scyther on this team, which I was so excited to use, and it did really well for me in testing, and I think we got a battle with it too on the channel. It's so much fun. You set Tailwind, it's super bulky with a Violite. It's so fast that even if your opponent gets an attack in, there's a good chance that it'll live it because it has, you know, the Gen 1 final Evo stats later turned into a pre-Evo without the stats changing, so a Violite boosts it through the roof. And then you can Tailwind right away, you can get a Swords Dance up, and then that's really nice for Flamigo to copy as well. This team is super fun. I think maybe the only way that I would change it is that I would swap out Gyarados for maybe like a Rotom Wash or something else that does the same thing, because I just didn't end up bringing Gyarados a ton. But you know, your opponent has to calculate it in, right? And so it still acts even if it's just at a team preview level. I'm starting to talk too much about these teams. Go watch the video if you want to see more. Next, we have another team that I had so much fun using on the channel. This is a rain team with Squawkabilly and Lokix on it. I'm still going to call it Lokix, by the way. Everybody's getting on me about not calling it Lokix. Hey, guess what? It's a Pokemon. It's a made-up word. We just learned it in November. And if you want to tell me that it's supposed to sound like locust, how do you pronounce Arcanine? Do you say Arcanine? Do you? Is that right? Ask yourself. This team is really, really fun. The whole thing about this team is that it's based on phasing in and out. It's based on, well, not phasing in and out. It's based on pivoting. Phasing is when you're making your opponent switch out. It's based on pivoting. So basically, Squawkabilly gets Parting Shot, Lokix gets U-Turn, Pelipper gets U-Turn, Palafin gets Flip Turn. Lots of different switching out. Every single Pokemon benefits from switching out because when Lokix comes back in, it gets First Impression again. Squawkabilly gets Intimidate. Pelipper sets the Rain. Palafin gets its ability activated. Amoonguss gets Regenerator boost from switching in and out. The only Pokemon that doesn't really benefit from switching in and out is Golden Go. And the way that that actually benefits is technically if you switch out after using Make It Rain, you reset your stats. So every single Pokemon is made to sort of switch out and move around. And it's all based on the idea that Lokix can deal a ton of damage with First Impression, Throat Chop, Axe Kick, U-Turn. I did switch things from the video, so go watch the video. It's very fun. But I made my Pelipper Assault Vest because I wasn't really using status moves. This is a max special attack Pelipper too, so it's dealing damage, this thing. And Lokix is now Clear Amulet just to stop opponents from being able to reduce its speed or intimidate it. And Lokix gets Tinted Lens, which means that the moves that you're using that would be not very effective suddenly become neutral damage, which is amazing. And it's why Pokemon like Sylveon should actually be scared of Lokix. You would think, oh, Sylveon Hyper Voice super effective against Lokix, I'm going to bring it. Lokix is faster. Lokix will click Throat Chop first. It won't be doing not very effective damage. It'll be doing decent damage, and Throat Chop will stop your opponent from being able to go for that Hyper Voice. Being able to go for, like, I think it affects Yawn. Being able to stop it from going for, like, Torch Song is great. Snarl. You know, stopping sound moves is an underrated utility in Pokemon. And so keep that in mind while you're using this team. It's super fun. I had a lot of fun with it. Lokix is cool. I'll probably use it again. Squawkabilly, so useful. So much more useful than I thought it was going to be. And I hope you enjoy using this team. And finalement, we have my most recent team. This team is going to be sticking around for a while because I'll just have to make 5 more teams for this team to disappear. So if you haven't used this team yet, don't worry about it. Go use it now. You have some time. Basically, I realized that the better way, or the more comfortable way that I prefer using Tinkaton is not as a hyper offense Gigaton Hammer user, but as a speedy utility mold breaker user to directly counter Golden Go, which isn't going anywhere in the meta, and use our own Golden Go to be benefited by Mold Breaker. Essentially, Golden Go, good as gold, stops you from being able to be impacted by status moves, right? We know that Golden Go can't be T-Waved, it can't be put to sleep, it can't be helping handed, unless the Pokemon doing those things is Mold Breaker, which doesn't care about abilities. So you can Helping Hand Golden Go on this team, which is so much fun to do. You can T-Wave other Golden Goes, which is so much fun to do. Another thing that I didn't really talk about in the video that I use this team in is that you can actually fake out on, like, Farigiraf. You can fake out on Serena because their abilities are supposed to stop priority, but you can fake them out if that's their Trick Room setter, and then all of a sudden Hydreigon is eliminating those Pokemon. This Pelipper is more defensively built. It is not the special attacker from the last video, so keep that in mind. And Quaquaval got so much use. If you're looking for a team that really showcases Quaquaval, go watch this Tinkaton video, because while I built it with Golden Go in mind, and while I've used Golden Go a ton in testing, something happened the day of the record, and Quaquaval was just popping off. I loved using that Pokemon. And Talonflame is so useful. Basically, you go either Talonflame or Pelipper when you go into a battle. If you don't think you need the rain, Talonflame is so good to stop Pokemon from using Trick Room with Taunt to stop opposing Grimmsnarls. It's not Prankster Taunt, so you can taunt into Dark types, which is really, really nice for countering Murkrows, things like that. Very fun team. I really loved using Tinkaton. I think it came to every single battle, and I think it stayed on the field the entire time. I don't think there was a single battle where Tinkaton flopped. So go check out that video. I really adored using this team. I'm still using it off camera. It's very, very fun. And I think other people who used it will attest to that. Thanks so much for checking out this video. I hope you want to use some of these weird teams. Again, very quickly, in the order of disappearance, we're going to see Cyclizar disappear first, followed by Doodle, Grafaiai, followed by Revavroom, followed by Squawkabilly, Lokix, followed by Tinkaton. Everybody, I would be so honored if you use the teams that I made. I love coming up with weird strategies. It's all I do all day. I work all day, and all I think about is, what are we going to do next? What's the crazy thing I think I can pull off? And then I go and I lose a ton while I'm practicing with it, while I craft the team and make different adjustments. And then I finally get to a place where I can win consistently, and I can share it with you all. It's a process, and I'm losing my mind. I hope you use these teams. I really appreciate it. Like, comment, and subscribe if you did enjoy it. I really thank you for clicking on this video. I love building the group of people who are trying to win not only with good teams, but with weird Pokemon. That's always been my MO. And so welcome to the channel. If this is your first time seeing it, join the Discord in the description below. I appreciate you. I love you. Have a great day. And until next time, my name is Berm. See you later.